Thank you, Mr. Ravi. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Manu has given you a very good picture of what is happening in Delhi. But I agree with him on the statistics that he has given. If you go by this 170 liters per day per capita consumption, then Delhi is definitely having the resources or the amount of water that's needed to feed the entire population. But these statistics itself, they are varying in different organizations. In Europe, for example, you would not use so much water as we Indians are used to taking and using. We, of course, are very hygienic and very careful about our personal hygiene as well as our surroundings. And that is what you would see, that people early morning washing their courtyards and everything and using a lot of water, which some of the other people who don't have access to that type of water that do get irritated about. But as an engineer or as a scientific person, all of you would know that basically the total water availability in the system, that remains the same. Basically how you are managing or mismanaging the water, that is affecting the availability of water available for the purpose that you require. You require water in your house for your cooking, for daily consumption, and for keeping your clean, as you would say, washing your clothes and doing all that. And some people may be maintaining gardens, they require water for maintaining their garden. But basically what is happening is that this 15 mg, that water that is being utilized to wash the 1 million cars, as if it is going out of the system. The water available total within the system, that remains the same. And the water in the summers, it evaporates. In the monsoon, it comes back to the earth. The hydrological cycle, as all of you would be aware, is containing water which has been shown in the film also. That even in 1950, we were having 4,000 billion cubic meters of water as precipitation all over the country. All over the day also, it is the same. That brings us to the question, this 835 or 830 figure of GD which Mr. Manu mentioned. And that is not the total which is coming from outside. From outside, we are getting around 700 odd, and another 85 to 90 mgd water is being pumped by DJB, to augment the water supply available water, and they are supplying in some places directly, pumping from the deep wells or the deep tube wells, which are nearer to the colonies where are nearer supplied, and that water is being directly supplied to the system. So bringing more from outside to Delhi would help in a way to conserve water which is being utilized by Delhi Jal Board. Jal Board itself is drawing so much water from the ground. Then on top of that, we are being exhorted citizens not to use groundwater tube wells and all. Of course, there is some mismatch there. DJB is there, 88 or 85 or 90 mgd, and all the citizens together, they might be drawing more or less, whatever more quantity is there. But it is definitely contributing to the overall problem of the depleting groundwater reserves. Fortunately, in the last few years, there has been a lot of awareness amongst the general public about the scarcity that is coming up, and people are becoming more conscious and trying to use less water or more water, or be more frugal in their water crisis and their water and consumption. So, the thing that is a statistics which would interest you is that all this water which is Delhi is receiving from outside Delhi, it is not as if it is being consumed here and there's nothing left after. In fact, 85% of the water that is supplied by DJP, it is eventually going back to the system, to the river or to the underground aquifers or to whatever, not as water, maybe as sewage mixed with water or whatever. But the consumptive use is only 15% of the water that is coming. This concept of 24/7 water supply to some areas, that was with the idea that DJB was trying out an experiment with the new plant that they were putting up, Sonia Vihar, which is focusing on supplying water to South Delhi. And they had decided that they were going in collaboration with some private developers and even some foreign companies. That company, total management and everything was we as a BPP, private-public partnership, so that that would have ensured 24/7. But the catch there was that naturally, when you bring in foreign investment and all these lots of, providing any service requires financial backing, and the water maybe it would have been much costlier than it was during those days when we were used to paying about maybe 50 paisa or 1 rupee for every 1,000 liters of water that was coming to our house. And maybe that system at that time, they would have charged them at rupees or 4 rupees for ensuring 24/7 water supply. There was a lot of hue and cry by the various organizations, public NGOs, bodies, and in general, and people who believe that they are more capable or more informed about what is good for the public, and DJB had to end that scheme. During those years, it also happened that one or two famous examples of privatization of water supply in other countries, mostly Philippines, for Manila, and for Vietnam, that although it had started on a very good note by privatization of the distribution system, they also eventually could not cater, and those systems also failed somewhat. In India, we have an example where in Karnataka they tried to implement this thing, but eventually it comes down to the same thing, that because people fear that these private companies will come in and they will try to maximize their profit, and the water availability will go out of reach of the common person who's used to taking free water practically. This other concept, 40% water distribution losses, that is also, it's a figure that is there and it is being bandied about, but it is not exactly a loss. It is not that the water from the pipes is leaking and flowing back through our nalas and going back into the river or something. It is just that it is a figure where it is a difference between what the supply has been given by the treatment plants and what the actual customer has been charged. That is the difference between that 40%. So the 1.6 crore or 16 million people, they are actually getting that water, and that water is not getting lost. It is being consumed by somebody. So it is taking care of the supply that is required. Inequities are definitely there in the summer seasons. That is when all these fights that you see that occur. Definitely at that time, the DJB is not able to maybe manage. The treatment capacity is there with their treatment plants for the 770 or 80 MGD. And during that period of the year, they are getting less supplies available, and so they are pumping less water to the supply system. And it is basically how we are going to manage these inequities, and that is going to be the main reason for the success or the failure of providing the water to the citizens of the city here, as well as to other cities also.